Hello, gorgeous souls. Welcome, and I invite you to stay magical. Welcome back to my friend Fear. We are on chapter 2, and I am so excited to talk about this. Oh, there goes my bookmark. Chapter 2. Where does fear begin? Oh, good. We got a better frame this time. We are born fearless. We are born free. As we grow older, our affinity for curiosity dampens in favor of security, the ability to feel safe and cared for. Though each person's life and environment is varied, there are a few permanent stones that offer security, acceptance, understanding, community, love, and freedom. When we don't have these stones in place, or when one of them is endangered, fear leaps in to fill the vacancy. It replaces the feeling of safety with anxiety. Our minds are uneasy, filled with confusion. We don't know what to do next. Where do we go from here? Like all other emotions, fear is born in the mind. It's rooted in our brains, the same magical instrument that fills us with wonder, awe, and incomprehensible joy. What prompts fear to take birth in us changes constantly. Its birth is dependent on our circumstances and abilities to lasso our emotions. But one thing is certain: fear did not arrive here, in our minds, on its own. Our culture tells us to be afraid of the powerful, and afraid of being vulnerable, afraid of money because it corrupts, and afraid of poverty because it stifles. Our culture tells us to be afraid of what we are, human, and who we innately are, our honest, most beautiful selves. We are continually told that changing ourselves is the only way we'll ever be accepted, loved, cherished, or seen. Our culture tells us to be afraid, to change who we are to fit into their box, to tone down, to snuff the light out. Instead, see your differences. Fall madly in love with yourself in the light that shines so bright that others can even see a bit clearer. There's no need to hide yourself away. Classmates, even peers moving on into adulthood, will try to tone you down for their own comfort. This is because of their own fear. They may not even be aware they are doing it or why. It may be simply the fear of the unknown. But it is in the unknown that growth and expansion happens. On page 33, she talks about living in New York and seeing things in the subway about body modifications and wearing makeup to look more pretty or beautiful. But you can change your outer appearance, but at the end of it, it is what is inside that makes you truly beautiful. God looks at the heart. So if you don't like wearing makeup, or you don't like the styles of other people that fit in, so what? Be unapologetically yourself. This is beautiful. No matter your clothes, hair, or body type, you are beautiful. Don't try to fit in. That's not cool anymore. Why was that ever a thing anyway? She writes here, where should I start? It wouldn't hurt to put some mascara on before leaving the house, I tell myself, awakening insecurities that were asleep before I'd stepped onto the subway. I don't want plastic surgery, but I do have a fear of not being beautiful. I don't enjoy wearing makeup, but I do have a fear of not fitting in. That's why it doesn't matter what everybody else's style is. Be true to you. I know where these fears came from, but it doesn't mean grappling with them is easy. Modern culture paints fear as a dark, powerful thing that has the ability to control us. But fear isn't the true culprit here. It isn't fear that tells us to change who we are. It's our culture, the signs, voices, and messages we're surrounded by. As we grow older, these fears grow with us, morphing and dividing themselves into hundreds of other fears until it's impossible to locate where it all began. Rationally, I know that being beautiful isn't reserved for a singular body type, but it's difficult to remember when the world repeatedly tells me otherwise. My bad. If I take a moment to understand it, I can see how my fear of being unattractive to others has created several other fears. The fear of unacceptance, the fear of never being loved, the fear of rejection. These are all tied up together like a bouquet of fears, and when I feel unattractive, they all bloom inside me. And here, I think the art is just so beautiful, and all these, a few of these different fears are listed. Fear of loss, fear of not being liked, fear of being unloved, fear of being fearful, fear of failure, fear of loneliness, fear of being rejected. Most of the time, we don't create our own fears. We carry other people's fears within us. Parents, often unknowingly, are the first people who begin unloading their fears onto their children. In order to protect them, parents instill a fear of foreignness in their babies. They ask them to stay close. They teach them to follow the same path they once took, because the path's familiarity offers safety. The crevices are known. If there are shortcuts, they can be shared. Why choose winding... Okay, this word is hard for me. Circuitous. Okay, I had to look that one up. Why choose winding that word, when you can go straight? That word, in definition, is of a route or journey, longer than the most direct way. This is usually done with the purest of intention. Parents want to protect their children from pain and difficulty. They want to give us the value of lessons they've learned so we won't have to learn them ourselves. This usually backfires because as children we do learn by example, but we learn best from experience. Cautious warnings shape themselves into fears, and these fears then prevent us from trying new things, including experiences that can fulfill and fortify us. We miss out on the necessary experiences that can shape us into the people we most want to be. I did turn my page. I have to write my thoughts because I've been having a hard time keeping my thoughts focused. So on page 38 here, it talks about her parents migrating to the US from India in their late 20s. Both born into poverty, they had no money and no wild wishes, only to come and live more healthily and happily. The author, Mira, was loved fiercely and protectively by two people who knew what it was to have nothing, and under their protection she learned how to live in scarcity. Scarcity is a big topic. I'm going to read from page 39. The idea that all good things come at a cost is a tenet of the scarcity mindset. Scarcity taught me that there weren't enough opportunities for everyone, and that the more success others had, the less there would be for me. When I thought about who I wasn't, my heart beat faster. What if I never became the person the world wanted me to be? Maybe my spirit didn't sparkle enough. Or was it that it sparkled too much? All I felt was fear. In fact, I couldn't remember the last time I felt unafraid. When was the last time you felt unafraid? So it mentioned parents. I don't think this should be taken negatively, parents watching. Maybe this is a gentle notion to perhaps let go of what's been instilled by your parents so you can allow your children to learn on their own journeys, perhaps more abundantly, in a more healthy way. Let's revisit this question. When was the last time you felt unafraid? And like last time, let's pull a card from Keep Calm and Trust God. They keep falling out. One, please. Oh. One, please. So while we're navigating our fear and realigning our perspective and adjusting how we see fear, remember that the Lord is faithful and he will strengthen and protect you. From 2 Thessalonians 3, verses 3. And a quote on the back. If it'd come into focus. Or not. Faith makes all things possible, by Dwight L. Moody. Beautiful. Thank you for being here. Thank you for liking, subscribing, sharing your insight, wisdom, and experiences. I love it. Please continue to do so. And if you're new, welcome. I should have said that in the beginning. I look forward to seeing you guys in Chapter 3 next week. Stay magical.